Bob Passwater's Senior. Waynesburg, Ohio, driver in the Sanctuary Church of God, the Glass House. Smith's Auto Sales sponsored 75. The 58 is the Red Rocket, Zach Koger. From Dover, Ohio, the Haas Body Shop, Matco Tools, Blind Mike Raybunk, and South Philly Pizza Federated Auto Parts, sponsored 58. And your fastest, well, your point leader, I should say. I was going to say fastest qualifier, haha, we didn't qualify. Your point leader, the 88 would be Dennis Wood. Driving the car tonight is Kylie Wood. So Kylie in the 88 tonight, Barberton, Ohio driver in the West Side, Rat Rod's Lee's Famous Recipe, People's Racing, Steve's Auto Service, RPM, Nephew's Painting, sponsor number 88. So your fast dash for the Snap-on Tools by Doug Pool Street Stocks. Jason Gruhl, Bob Passwater Sr., Zach Koger, Kylie Wood. 4-lap dash. Caution on the speedway for failed. Gruhl and Passwaters will try it again at the stripe in turn number 4. Green flag on helmet dash or the Snap-on Tools by Doug Pool stop. Number 3. Gruhl up the racetrack, a little bit of contact. The second spot, Passwater's going to drop back to third. Outside lane, here comes Kylie Wood on the bottom. The third spot is Gruhl will lead. White flag for Jason Gruhl. Koger looking to the outside. Here comes Kylie Wood. Street stock, helmet dash. Off turn number 4, you're a winner. Kylie Wood will finish second, Zach Koger third, and Bob Passwater Sr. in fourth. The Snap-on Tools by Doug Pool Street Stock Helmet Dash. From Dover, Ohio, in the Willendale Golf Cart Sales. RLA Excavating Tornado Fabrication sponsored number 99. Put your hands together for Jason Gruhl. The Lucky Mowing Compact starting on the pole. The number 9 is Gavin Roop, the birthday boy. From Barn Hill, Ohio, in the R&B Tires Fast Class Metal Art sponsored machine. Starting on the outside, the number 36 is Rich Dunlap Dunwoody. From New Philadelphia, Ohio, in the Longhorn Carpentry and Construction Boulevard Lanes, Rupner Racing, sponsor number 36. The number 57, the Sizzla, Blaze Bacon. From New Philadelphia, Ohio, in the Stacy Metcalf, Jay's Garage, Big D Tires, Boulevard Lanes, sponsored 57. And your point leader in the 007 DR3, Don Rupner III from Uricksville, Ohio, in the Sugar Valley Meats High Impact Tree Service BP Photography, sponsored 007. Green flag in the air, Gavin Rupner. Helmet dash trophy. He's going to lead through 3 and 4 off of 4 Gavin Gavin Roop, your race leader. Good battle between white flag in Chief Starter Terry Coletti's hand. White flag for Gavin Roop. 7 of Blaze Bacon finishes second, then the 36 of Rich Dunlap and the 007 of TR3 in your Lucky Mowing. Ohio, the R&B Tires Fast Blast Metal Art sponsor number 9. Put your hands together for Gavin Roop.
Okay. Thank you.
Ross Mountain Barbecue and Catering Mini Truck Heat Race.
I forget the name, but I know the team.
8-lap heat race for the Ross Mountain Barbecue Mini Truck, starting on the pole, the 29 of Trenton Croft in Bolton, Ohio. Starting on the outside, the 09 of Keith McLean from Carrollton, Ohio. The Snyder Home Improvements Clay Motorsports sponsored 09. Row number 2, 443 is Eddie McLean from Carrollton, Ohio, and the Napa Auto Parts of Columbia. Joe Mack Truck Bodies and Cranes, John Doe Band, McDowell Home sponsored 443. On the outside, the 442, Connor McLean from Carrollton, Ohio, in the corner bar of Minerva. Scott's Auto Sales, CNN Auto, Napa of Columbia, D&D Appliance sponsored 442. Your point leader in the 99 is Bob Johnson from Harlem Springs, Ohio, in the Benchmark Construction, Kent and Mark Nice, Deluxe Body and John Doe Band sponsored 99. They'll start out back. 8-lap heat race for the mini trucks in green. Here comes Bob Johnson on the bottom, and he's going to go to the now up to the race lead. Connor McLean is going to sweep by him into the second spot. Dropping out 5 cars. Bob Johnson. Third spot from Johnson picks up the win. Connor McLean second, Eddie McLean third, then Trenton Croft and Keith McLean rounding out your Ross Mountain Barbecue Mini Truck Heat Race. Mark Nice, Deluxe Body, John Doe Band, and CB Boutique. Sponsor number 99. Put your hands together for Bob Johnson. Heat Race. Starting on the pole, the 7 of Gabe Pringle, New Philadelphia, Ohio part-time driver. The Shook Brothers 99.9 WTZ and Big Z Sports, sponsor number 7. Pork Chop Brandon Thomas in the 8 from New Philadelphia, Ohio. Gillen Body Shop EPS Packaging sponsored machine starting on the outside of the front row. The 22 is Dennis Wood. Dennis Wood in the 22, your point leader. The 67 is Honky John Panarelli. The 10 is Katie Wood. The 64 is Ian Porco. Out for the race lead, all up the racetrack, Dennis Wood.
I thought Jack
back. Fixed and he takes the tail end of the field. Caution on the speedway. Green flag in the air. Inside. Almost up in the wood. By the nose. Gabe Pringle. Back to that second spot. Pinarelli in third. White flag here. Checkered flag, Gabe Pringle. Gabe Pringle, Dennis Wood, John Tannerelli, Katie Wood. In the 64 of Ian Porco, the 8 of Brandon Thomas. Brothers, 99.9 WTUZ, Big Z Sports, Knack Tuning, Gillen Body Shop, Clintock Lawn and Landscaping, Racer 8, Gino's Garage, sponsor number 7. Put your hands together for Gabriel Pringle. Is Brendan Lucius from Akron, Ohio, in the Import Auto Care. Bernard Fabrications, Lucius Motorsports, sponsor number 21. On the outside, driving the Peebles. Number 78 tonight is Kyle Lawson from Minerva, Ohio, in the Peebles Racing. BP Photography, American Refining Group, Snap-on Tools, Allen Alloys and Iron All-In Tanning. Liner Fabrication, sponsor 78. 73 is TJ Dreyer from Yurtsville and Trenton Service. Last stop, Bait and Tackle Shop. And the number 1 in the Munchkin, Brian Smith. Brendan Lucius, Kyle Lawson on the front row. Caution on the speedway. Green flag, back of Lucius in that 21. Lucius trying to battle back on the bottom. Comes Brian Smith with a dive ball, moving the Gremlin. Lawson continues to youngster, Brendan Lucius. Crossing on the bottom, the youngster on top off third, fourth. With the outside pass on the final lap. Nice move on the import auto care. Bernard Fabrications, Lucius Motors 21. Put your hands together for rookie driver Brendan Lucius. The 5 of Patty Schubert. 6 of Nolan Caldwell. Sorry, Kate Scott. Trying to get around the fourth. 7. Nolan Caldwell and Drew Brogan slow on the back straightaway. One lap complete. With the green hanky in hand. Lots of bad luck in that 427. Trying to roll on the outside. In that second spot, going to take back over the race in turn 1. Fourth. And Nolan Caldwell and Drew Brogan. Out in Mountain Valley High School is moving. Don Rupner Jr. Trying to take over the top spot. Your champion from a year ago. It's 2 to go. White flag for Nolan Caldwell. Checkered flag for Nolan Caldwell. The 62 of Kate Scott and the 427 of Huff and the 68 of Corbin Robinson. From Bowerston, Ohio, your winner in the number 6. Put your hands together for Nolan Caldwell. The 9 of Chris Billiter. Chris Billiter in the 9C from Beach City, Ohio, and the Tecton Engineering Crazy Wayne's Metal Masters sponsored number 9C.
Did you say Aaliyah? Okay, correct.
Inside of row number 2 is the 23 of Zach Marshall from Barnhill, Ohio. The designs by DeMonte TMP Valley Propane and Boulevard Lane sponsored 23M. 23 of Brenton Irwin alongside Harrisville, Ohio, the Millwood Lumber, Reichman Plumbing, Glass, and Lunsford Excavating sponsored 23. The 85 machine is Jonathan Weber. New Philadelphia, Ohio, driver in the My Water Doctor, Wise Motorsports, Lee's Famous Recipe, Premium Cleaning, sponsored 85, and the number 0 of John Hyde in the My Water Doctor. As we are underway in this Weber, Witt, and Heidi. Finish. From Bard Hill by DeMonte, TMK Valley Propane and Boulevard Lanes, sponsored 23M. Put your hands together for Zach Marshall. Of Nick Peebles, Carrollton, Ohio driver in the Snyder Home Improvements Peebles Racing sponsored machine. Row number 2, the Double X, is Grayson Moldovan. The Renault Concrete My Water Dr. Keys car sponsored Double X. In the 69.
Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Chuck Caldwell in the 69. And the 52 is Jeremy Salinger, North Canton, Ohio, in the Dynamite Performance Tuning Story Motors sponsored 52. Trying to take over third from Madison. Although that's side of Moldova, he'll take it over. Moldova, then the 66 of Mazzolini and 69 of Caldwell. On the Dynamite Performance Tuning Story Motors, Built Not Bought Racing, Gray Area Productions and Danny's Towing CRC sponsored. Number 52, put your hands together for Jeremy Salinger. 17 and 8 Smart from Dover, Ohio, the Ohio Solar Connection. Car sponsor number 17 will start on the outside. The number 77 is Joshua Peebles from Carrollton, Ohio, the BP Photography, sponsored 77. The number 42 is Damian Andrews from Alliance, Ohio, the Sargent Ford Windy Acres Farm, sponsored 42. Row number 3, the number 75 of Blake Miley from Sherridsville, Ohio, the Gaelic Sheet Metal Bear Electric, sponsored 75. And out back in the number 72 is Mike McDonald from Barberton, Ohio, in the Bucky Boeing Chip Express Grizzly Quick Mart, sponsored 72. Green just shy of the halfway mark. 3 laps in, 5 to go. Start your race either Aaron on the outside.
There's a place we can sit.
Great job. Clark. Miley going to go to the high lane. McDonald third. Now coming to 2 laps to go. The line. Oh, start up the racetrack. David Smart back to the second spot. White flag. Fourth. Moved up to a partner. Second flag. Second, and the 72 of Mike McDonald, and the 38 of Dan Herron. Machine, put your hands together for Blake Miley. All will start on the outside of row 3. 38 of Stephen Mowry. Then the 4th of July Firecracker 150 winner, the 57 of Braden Swaney. 66 of Lewis McGrath. 22 of Derek Bacon, 37 of TJ Steinman, 17 of Ethan McCollum, 37 of Christian Bailey, 82 of Bob Sibla Jr., the 02 of Rick Sibla, 0 Ripley, 37 of Spencer Steinman, 86 Zach Miller, 3 is Jeff Dunphy, the 3rd. 3 on the outside is Austin Berger, and rounding out the field, the 19 is Gerald Altazier. This is your field. Right tower for outside. Green flag. Mowry on the outside of Allenport. Lewis McGrath and Ethan McCauley. McCauley, a great run in that 17. His best showing for the Bills. Green flag.
Yeah, they're trying to get him, but I don't know.
Isn't he coming from up there?
Right? Way to go, buddy. Thanks.
Man, talk to me real quick. This car was absolutely loaded to the racetrack. Tell me what you guys have figured out in 2022.
Man, you know, we just went back to the basics. We took this car to Hal, had him check over everything. We got a little support from Travis Eddy at Hal. Just doing our homework, going over everything, and it's paying off.
It's really paying off. Of course, former modified champion here at Mid-Vale Speedway, and now moving up into the open mods and kind of running a little bit all over the place. This has got to be the best year of your career, I would think, other than a championship year.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, after we left Greats, I mean, all I wanted to do was win an open race here in like 2 or 3 years. It just crappy racing, bad luck, and I mean, this is a dream year right now. I mean, I just want to win here in the open class because we all know that.
And don't forget about your rapper ribs there from Ross Mountain Barbecue. You can't beat that.
Oh, we ran out of buns over there in our crock pot, so now we got something to eat.
There you go. So Ross Mountain's Barbecue and Catering, giving you that. Who do you want to thank on this 21 tonight?
First off, I want to thank my dad. We always just me and him. My uncle Mark came tonight. My mom Sherry, she's probably honestly the biggest supporter. She's paying for the tires. Dad's just joking when he just made her call her owner. Well, I'm just the driver because she wants to win just as bad as I do. So my fiance, and like I said, Louie. This is for Louie. He's not been doing very good, but he's the biggest race fan, and just trying to get the victory lane for him.
Congratulations, buddy. Well done.
Thank you, buddy.
Your winner, put a whooping on him tonight, Bryce Allensworth. Tia Henry. 12-lap mini truck feature is green. 3 wide into turn number 1. And yellow flag on the speedway. Eddie McLean, Connor McLean, Rose 2, Bob Johnson, Rose 3, Tia Henry, Myerself and Rose, about 7. Trenton Cross, father-son duo on the march, trying to get around the second spot. Edward McLean. Eddie McLean, Bob Johnson, 3-lap shootout, Cross Mountain Barbecue mini truck is green. Bob Johnson on the outside of Eddie McLean. Oh, he hooked him. McLean keeps going, towards the left one. One left to go for Eddie McLean. Your feature winner, Eddie McLean. Second, third, Rupner Jr.
All right, old timer. Good job. Thanks, man. I gotta quit working on Bob Johnson and Connor's trucks, man. They're just kicking my butt.
Yeah, he's right here.
Yeah, but you know what? What'd you think of Bob? You little shit. Well, over here. I think he just got loose in that stuff down there, and I certainly don't think it was intentional. It was just what they call that one of them racing deals. But
I wasn't alluding that it was intentional. I just thought maybe it might have scared you a little bit. Maybe it scared you a little.
I'm going to need to drop these off the frac fingers on the way home. I know that.
That's what I was alluding to.
Yeah, I saw that wall coming up and it filled the windshield, and I thought, well, that's the end of Phantom 309 right there.
Yeah, that was, oh, there you go, Ross Mountain Barbecue giving you a rack of ribs. I love that.
I'll tell you what, guys, my cousin Debbie brought us some Ross Mountain and brought it over in the pits. That is the best barbecue beans and the best whole pork I've ever eaten in my life. And take it from a fat guy, I've ate some stuff.
You want to take it with this 443, man?
Oh, man, let's start with the John Doe Dan Napa Auto Parts. We got Joe Mack truck bodies and cranes. McDowell Realty. Just come on with us this year. I don't have them committed to memory. Keith and Robin Brady, Shamrock Farms, top-notch feeds. And got to thank Connor and Bobby and Keith and everybody that helped me in the pits. We had a problem with this thing early on. I had to put valve springs in it last night. Kept breaking stuff, losing stuff in the dark because I'm a dumbass that was working on a trailer at night. And so it wasn't running right in the heat race. And those guys busted their butt and helped me adjust valves and chase down stuff. And I think we got it.
Yeah, I think it ran okay.
It will do.
Congratulations, buddy. You might be a dumbass, but you're a feature winner. Here's your feature winner, and you can play.
Alongside Josh Huff in 427, Caden Scott in the 62, the 5 is Tabby Stuber. The 69 is Drew Roaming. Then the 6 machine of Nolan Caldwell. The 9 of Gavin Rue. 36 at Dunwoody, Rich Dunlap. The 57 of the Sizzler, Blaze Bacon. The 07, your point leader, champion from a season ago, DR3 Donovan the third. The 85 is Jonathan Weber. 9C of Chris Billiter. 84. Scott Witten, the 84. And the 68 of Mean Bean, Corbin Robinson. Compact feature, John Heidi, Don Rupner Jr. on the front row, Josh Huff, Keaton Scott row 2, Tabby Stuber, first ever CDL champion at the car sale. Green flag. John Heidi, fourth, and the 5 of 7. Green flag back here, high back to green. 5 laps complete. John Heidi, Don Ruther Jr. Green flag back in the air. Six in, 9 to go. Caldwell will start back in the field with Thomas. Height and rolling. Green flag in the air. Tabby got her first fast compact feature win a couple of weeks ago. Our only female champion in the 69 years history of Mid-Vid Speedway. Running in the 4th spot. Green flag in the air. Heidi continues to lead Roman second. Stuber for the 4th spot. White Jonathan Clever, youngster. White flag in the air. Off turn number 4. Who's going to win it? Who's going to John Heidi.
Congratulations, man. You and the 9, a little bit of beating and banging up there, but you know what? This is racing, right?
Yeah, I don't like that way. Towards the end, it started with the brakes there, it started to get hot. I like that. Don't want to like that, but this is racing.
It is racing, and that's a part of it, and I appreciate you owning up to it, but you know what? Everybody kept going. There was no caution. right? Nobody spun, nobody did, so you race on, right? You race to the finish. And that's what you did. And he had his shot back through 3 and 4, and you got to the line first.
Like I said, this car's been a fight the last couple of months, but it's finally getting to where I want it now.
And you get a rack of ribs from Rossmont Barbecue, and your sponsor, on the sponsor night, gets to give you a trophy. So congratulations, buddy. We want to thank this double deal.
My water doctor, my wife, all the boys back there, these guys, their help, I make it possible down here.
Congratulations, buddy. Your winner, Jonathan Heidi.
We are getting ready to go. compliment, 40-meter Ritter, the 57th of EP Ren. Getting ready to go back to the green. 12 laps. ready to come to the green. Sanquest and Carter. Turn 4. Green flag. Sanquest. Row number 2. Smart in row 3. Green flag in the air.
Finally a winner at Midvale Speedway.
Get out here and do a backflip.
Here's your winner, John Sanquest Jr. Getting the big trophy, the big hug and kiss in Ohio Solar Connection Victory Lane. Come on around here, John.
Yes. Ain't I much better looking from over here? Okay.
All right, so let's set this all up. I want full credit because I told you that if you ever got practice at this place and didn't show up and just start the feature, you probably wouldn't one of these things. You said, oh man, you know, I gotta work and different things. You showed up tonight, you practiced and you won. I think I'm smart.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you all credit. It was an accident. I wouldn't normally practice. I showed up early for a change, and that changed our luck. So we'll give you half credit.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that.
I appreciate it. Thanks for everyone sticking around. I know it's been a trying night. Make sure you come back to Midvale Speedway. This is a good track. It's good racing side by side. We just proved it. That late models can run here side by side and put on a really good show for the folks.
Absolutely, man. Talk about the past. Oh, you got a rack of ribs too for Ross Mountain Barbecue too. Thanks, Cash. Yeah, Ross Mountain Barbecue giving you a rack of ribs. So that's nice. You got something to eat in the late night hours.
Right. By the time I get home about 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll have one. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll be following you up because I'm going to be at the base at 8, so it's all good. But I'll tell you what, the outside pass to Jimmy Carter, man, impressive.
Yeah, I knew I had to do it in 1 and 2 because the car was really rotating through there. He hung with me up to 3 and 4. I was in trouble, and I was hoping the freight train wasn't coming. So that was the chance, and I took it, and I'm still stuck.
And you finally broke through with Midvale Speedway.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Who you want to thank on this 99, man?
FLF Race Cars, Tim Curry. Huge help. Baker Engineering, my family, my little girl, Tammy, Scotty Boy, Chuck and Kathy. This is their first asphalt race tonight.
Nice. What a way to do it.
Yeah, it's a long night, but I think it was worth it. For me, at least. For me.
I agree with you. Congratulations, brother. Welcome to Ohio Solar Connection Victory Lane. Your winner, John Sanquest Jr.
Caution. Green flag in the air. Weather looks good. Kyle Lawson. Right away. Turn 3. Jonathan, then that green flag in the air. Green flag in the air. either. Jason Gruel has not won a feature in this division. Jack Coker's won a couple. Ian Porto's won a couple. Tyler Woods won a couple. Getting ready to go back to the drink.
aggressive as you knew there was a rack of ribs on the line. Am I right?
Those rack ribs go to Tanner Early, I already promised you. Stop over here.
Well, he didn't stop, but come on over with the rack of ribs from Ross Mountain Barbecue and Catering.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So tell me, man, this thing was a rocket in the heat race. I don't know what you guys did to this thing in the last couple of weeks. I guess I've been going for a while.
We just took tires all week long to keep up with competition.
Who do you want to thank on this 7 tonight?
Ohio Solar Connection, Ship Brothers, Route 39, 99.9, Big Z Sports, and Ridgeway Water Repair.
Man, congratulations. This one's got to feel good because you went out, you put it on the outside, you were passing on the inside. I like it.
Yeah, it does feel good. I think it's been about 4 years since I've been here, and that's the first time I got this old McClintock car back from Victory Lane.
Congratulations, buddy. Your winner. What?
And thank Ed Corbin.
Yeah, you better thank him. All right, your winner, Gabe Pringle. Good to see Bear. Mike Miller. Yeah, say hi to the fans. Fans, you can welcome our Paul Hamer, Alan Clark, representing his dad, Delmer Clark, Bill Seal, Rob Sidla, his wife Ricky, White Bucks, White Bucks Dawson. Yeah, Keith Thomas down here. He's an old timer, but he's still a some-timer, so nice. Saw Kenny Vickers down here earlier. Alright, so go ahead. Hall of Famers, you can sit in the chairs and get ready to go. We're going to introduce you here shortly. Chuck Harris is here. Chuck, good to see you, buddy. Alright, let's go ahead and clear the front of this. Kenny Carroll sit down here in front. Good to see Kenny. Dan's passion for photography, racing, and Mid-Vid Speedway was unmatched. Before social media and his pictures of what kept the fans in touch with the drivers and teams, each week people would line up to purchase his photos. Drivers, crews, and officials would also wait in line each week for their keepsakes. Dan, as well as Mid-Vid racing videos, were solely responsible for bringing Mid-Vid Speedway into our homes. The countless photos are our reminder of all the good and bad times that took place throughout the history of this racetrack that we all love. He was also a proud photographer at Camp Motor Speedway and the Mid-Vid Racing Series. He passed away just a couple of weeks ago. We would like to honor him tonight. Our first Hall of Fame inductee. Please welcome Dan Bailey's family in honor of Dan Bailey. In at Sportsman Park, that he won a feature at every other track he competed at. In 1966, he drove for Bill Semple in the 44-1950 Chevy. He raced at Canton Motor Speedway, Barberton, and Midvale. Seemed like everywhere they went, they were towing a race car behind them. He raced in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Indiana, West Virginia. He ranked in the top 50 drivers in the nation. He even ranked as high as 3rd during his illustrious career. He won the points title at Akron Speedway in 1953. He was a track champion at Strasbourg and Heidelberg in 1954. He often talked about racing with his buddies and all the fun that they had together. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer Bill Oliver. Is anybody here from Bill Oliver's family? Please come and select it or pick up his plaque, please. Our next inductee's bio was written by Shannon Thomas. Ron began his Hall of Fame racing career in 1985 when he purchased a race car from another Mid-Vid Speedway Hall of Famer, Wes Galbraith, the late Wes Galbraith. In the beginning of his career, Ron would work on chassis and his dad, Ralph Day, would build the engine. Daggy started out racing on Saturday nights at Canton Motor Speedway and Sundays at Midvale. In 1991, Ron started getting a chassis set up for Phelps Thomas, and the duo quickly saw results, winning at both Canton and Midvale. They would win 9 features in Midvale during their 3 seasons together. In 1992, Dave and Thomas teamed up to run the street stock division with Ron supplying the engine and Phelps bringing in a different chassis to the team. That season, he would win multiple features in the points championship at Canton Motor Speedway on Saturday nights, and he captured 3 features here at Midvale on Sundays. From 1995 to 98, he competed on a limited basis, winning races filling in for other drivers or in his own car. In 1998, he would pick up multiple feature wins in the Detroit Iron Class, driving part-time for Jake and Todd Miller. In 1999, he teamed up with Carl Leonard Van Selway to run the Sportsman division. That season would be one to remember for him and his crew. They picked up 13 feature wins and a points title here at Midvale. They also picked up a feature win at Mansfield. 14 feature wins in the 99 season. For 2000, Selway purchased a late model, and Ron started the year off winning opening night. He picked up 2 feature wins and competed for a half a season. From 01 to 05, he would go back to a part-time schedule, driving for a variety of teams. In 01, he picked up an impressive late model win, driving an older chassis for Larry Page. Most people considered it a big upset due to the strong field of competitors chasing him that night. There were 6 Hall of Famers in that field: Kenny Carroll, Bear Swartz, Tom the Farmer Smith, Mike Miller, Bob Sibley, Kenny Stevens. In 2006, Ron would return to racing as he teamed up with John Talati to run in the sports stock division. In the 4.5 seasons, he would rack up 26 feature wins, driving the Talati Pipe number 75. I know that for a fact because I used to see that green and white car streak past me in the outside lane every week. He raced most of his career at Midvale, but he had success at Canton, Barberton, Mansfield, and Columbus. He picked up many prelim wins at these tracks and over 60 features during his remarkable racing career. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer Ron Day. Our next inductee started attending Midvale Speedway in 1980 to watch his dad and his racing heroes compete. He was part of the pit crew that captured the 1996 late model title with Hall of Famers Rich Dessecker and Larry Clay. His face even adorned the Mid-Vid racing track-up video. He became the head scorer at Midvale Speedway in 2006, a position that he continues to hold today. Officials have come and gone, but through 3 different ownerships, the one constant was Smitty. Every week, every season, rarely not sitting in his perch on the turn 1 side of the main scoring tower. One of the most important and thankless jobs in the sport of auto racing is the score. Everyone knows the winner, but who finished 5th, 8th, 15th? Without the precision and accuracy of a score, who knows what the finishing order would be, who would get the money, who would get the points. Back in the day, you had a couple scorers that would take a certain number of cars and score them, resulting in the finish of a race. But everything's evolved, so is scoring. He helped usher in the new timing and scoring system here at Midvale Speedway that we used to have today. We'll have to update that, of course. That's a joke for all you guys who didn't know that. He helped usher that in. He comes down on his own time to make sure the race monitor is up and running for the people that have practiced and testing, so they all don't have to use a stopwatch. He makes sure each and every car has a transponder that's working, making sure all the names are in the computer system. He sets up all the lineups after qualifying, makes sure the races are run properly. The starts and restarts are lined up. Sometimes he does that all at once while yelling and screaming at me and John. Smitty has scored races by hand using computer scoring at Barberton, Columbus, and 250 Speedway, besides his dedication here to Midvale Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to induct my longtime friend and head scorer of Midvale Speedway, Hall of Famer Gary Smith Jr. To compete in the late model division for the 2014 season, where he captured the Rookie of the Year, 2 prelim wins, and a very emotional feature victory. Wrapping up his full-time racing career, he competed in the mini-truck division in 2015 and 16 with 9 prelim wins and 8 feature victories, as well as getting to compete against his legendary father. After multiple concussions and ongoing headaches, Joe decided to hang up his helmet following the 2016 season. So far, he's avoided getting back behind the wheel despite my constant urging. Joe would like to thank his grandpa Popliner, his Hall of Fame dad Roger, his wife April, his children, and anyone who helped him over the last 25 years. Special thanks to the late Gary Music, who used to motivate him by sitting in the turn 3 grandstands waving $100 bills that he got for a bonus for winning. And of course, all of his sponsors that supported him over the years, his past car owners, Bear Swartz, Bruce and Brian Feaster, Rick Settler, Dan Bucky, and Ron Kirkpatrick. Although Joe didn't cross the finish line first as many times as his dad, he did cross it upside down one night, something his dad never did. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to induct one of my longest and oldest friends, Hall of Famer Joe Reiner. For driving the number 36 figure 8 machine. He won many races and competed at Mid-Vale Speedway, Camp Motor Speedway, Coshocton, and Gravis Speedways during his Hall of Fame career. Ken sponsored many cars and driver combinations throughout the years, like fellow Hall of Famers Kenny Carroll and Roger Liner. He also sponsored, supported, and cheered on his sons Bobby, Casey, and David when they raced. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer Kenny Knight. Driving the Knight's Tire, number 27 figure 8 machine from 1982 to 1985. He moved up to the late model division in 1986, driving the Knight's Tire number 27 right here at Mid-Vale Speedway and Camp Motor Speedway. He also drove the number 11 street stock for Jeff Baker the second half of that 86 season, showing his diversity by competing in both divisions. He continued to drive the number 11 street stock from 1987 until 1991. Midvale, Canton, and Sandusky. He won the 1988 Fall Classic. He had some great sponsors throughout his career, including Knight's Tire, Belknap's Body Shop, Mark Murphy, and Jim LeBlanc Sales and Service. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome Hall of Famer Bobby Knight. Into going to the racetrack when he was 7 years old. That is where their journey began. Dick and Rich started racing together in 1976. They shared countless memories. He was a regular at the track until his health prevented him from going in 2015. After that, Rich would buy the Mid-Vid racing DVDs and give them to his dad so he could keep up with all the action. After watching them, he would often call Rich and they would discuss what happened in the races. They shared 40 plus years of building race cars, racing, rebuilding, and starting over countless times until sadly Dick passed away in 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hall of Famer Dick Schweitzer's family. Honor Dick Schweitzer. Our next inductee's bio was also written by Shay Schweitzer, his wife. He started going to Mid-Vale with his father in 1967 at the age of 10. There was no doubt they were hooked from the start. Rich drove for multiple car owners over the years to go along with his own cars and trucks. He won his first championship driving for the Hall of Famer Larry Clay in 1988. He drove his own pure stock Phil Points championship in 2013 when he decided it was time to retire. But by the winter of 2015, he found himself with his brother-in-law Kevin McClintock in a garage building a mini truck from the ground up. He won back-to-back titles in 2017 and 2018 before retiring the second time. In 2019, he substituted for Keith Pringle and Bear Sports. His final planned race on September 7th, 2019, driving Bears, number 77 Street Stock, is where he parked it into victory lane to cap off his Hall of Fame career, retiring for the third and, we think, final time. Besides racing at Mid-Vale Speedway on asphalt, he won a track championship on dirt at 250 Speedway, driving for Keith Pringle in 2009. He also drove at 250 for the late Mike Powell. He competed a few times at Canton and Columbus. His home was right here at Mid-Vale Speedway. His favorite driver was Bud Middow, hence why he often had a maroon and gold number 84. Though he is a retired driver, he is still here every week working on his brother-in-law Kevin's modified, and for the last 2 seasons, the street stock of Zach Koger is the 3 of them built. Rich wants to thank John Kelly Chapman for keeping the track and the Hall of Fame going. Of course, his wife Sherry for her support, and the rest of his family and friends. Just as his car once said, he's not ready for the rocking chair just yet. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer, Mr. Smooth, Rich Schweitzer. Nephew Kelly raced and thought it looked like a lot of fun. Not too long after he started racing, his brother Terry did as well, and it became something they did as a family. In 2000, he took home the season championship, helping to launch the first powerhouse compact team, BCR, which was known as Back Corner Racing. The grass area that we call the bullpen, these guys relished in it and made it their home. They were the innovators of the division, the standard. During his career, John won over 30 features in his Hall of Fame career, and he built many friendships along the way. He helped his competitors and teammates alike. He retired from racing in 2012 and is still believed to this day to be the winningest compact driver at Midvale Speedway. He wants to make it known the reason why he was so successful is because of his wife, Marisha. She was always in the grandstand cheering him on and along his side on the long nights in the garage. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer, John Mid-Vid. 1999, the first year of the compact division. He wanted to race in this division because it was affordable for the budget that he had. Kelly won several prelim races throughout his career. He drove home with several feature victories, including a mid-season championship. He was one of the founding members of that first dominant compact team, BCR. He won 3 points championships in a row in 03, 04, and 05. He added a fourth in 07. He was also named the most popular driver in the compact division during his career. He helped a lot of racers. And he is most proud of the friendships and memories that he has. He hung up his gloves in 2010. Ladies and gentlemen, the second compact Hall of Famer, Kelly McNutt. The yellow and red number 1 in honor of Jim Dunn at several Ohio dirt tracks, including Coshocton, St. Clairsville, and Muskingum County Speedway. After a few more cars and a brief hiatus, Tom returned to racing in 1994 in the late model sportsman division at Midvale Speedway. This is when he adopted the number 64 for Hall of Famer Red Evans. Tom was a regular competitor at Lorraine Raceway Park on Saturdays and Midvale on Sundays for several seasons. Over the years, Tom won multiple features at Midvale, as well as strong runs at Mansfield and Columbus. In 2008, he decided to take a step back from racing, only to find himself in a new number 30 late model owned by Barb and the late Dan Semple the following season. In 2011, after picking up the season championship in the Fall Classic and the Modifieds, Tom decided to hang up the helmet. He now fields a street stock for his grandson Ian Porco. He continues to support racing by sponsoring several race cars and showing up here every Saturday night. He is most thankful for all the memories and the wonderful times he had racing. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer Tom Garbrandt. Stationed at Little Rock Air Force Base. In 1979 and 1980, he was the hobby stock champion at Wynn Stadium in Herbert Springs, Arkansas. He finished up his military service and started racing street stocks at Canton Motor Speedway in 1982. He picked up the feature win in his first ever visit right here to Midvale Speedway in 1985, driving a number 66 Chevelle in the street stock class. He made the move to late models in 1985, finishing second at Barberton. In 1989, he completed the clean sweep of Canton Motor Speedway with the big season championship, and the points title. On Labor Day in 1990, he won the late model portion of the World Stock Car Festival on the world's fastest half mile in Winchester, Indiana. He started driving the famous 301 car in 1990. He captured the Firecracker 76, the Ohio Invitational. Both of those races, by the way, went green to checkered, no cautions, and the points title here at Midvale Speedway in 1991. He also competed in the main event racing series for 4 years. The most important thing to John was that he worked as a tech inspector for Midvale Speedway in the main event series in 95 and 96. He loved the competition side of things and not so much the public side. He wants to thank his family and sons, Brian and Rodney Wise, Jack and Dorothy both, Rob Roy Phillip, Kermit, Bud, and Steve Elkins, and all the Elkins boys, Brad Truitt, and all his friends and fans. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer John Klein. I'm rooting for a silver number 7 and some guy named Richie. He started racing in the compact division when it was only in its second year back in 2000. His cousin Sean decided that they were going to turn his only car, a Ford Escort, into a racing car. They spent weeks getting the car ready, and when they took it for their first night of racing, Shane Billiter needed a fill-in driver, so he decided to go do that. He asked Terry to hop in. Even though Terry was the slowest qualifier and he got his doors blown off, he was hooked on racing. A few weeks later, he bought his own car off of Brian Ridgway, a car with a paint scheme like Tony Stewart's Home Depot ride. The first practice, he blew up his motor. He ended up replacing the motor himself and learned a lot that rest of that season. In 2001, he built his first car in 1986 Dodge Daytona. He won some races in that car the first year, and in 2002, BCR was born. Those guys back in that back corner bullpen that I talked about earlier. In 2003, TC brought his first Cavalier, a 1994 Cavalier. He captured many races in that car and became one of the guys that set the standard for this new division. He's pretty sure that the only car, or that car is still racing here at Midvale Speedway. In 2004, he jumped into a yellow number 27 owned by Kelly McNutt. He pretty much dominated everyone, everywhere that he showed up driving that car. He won 6 features, and someone tried to claim that car before mid-season, which he refused to claim, pretty much ending Terry's year here at Midvale Speedway. About that time, he got a call from Hall of Famer Bear Swartz saying that John Salati's kids loved watching Terry, and he wanted to know how he could help keep him in a car. So Bear put him in the Dodge Street Stock for the rest of the year. In his driving career, he won over 50 races. He was the first compact guy from Midvale Speedway to win the Lorraine Fall Festival of Speed with a clean sweep. He also won the first compact feature during the main event weekend in Columbus. He won on dirt at Cannonball, Wayne County, and Lakeville. After his Hall of Fame racing career was over, he started another Hall of Fame worthy career as chief starter back in 2005. He also started out as an assistant at 250 Speedway to Keith Decker before taking over as the chief starter the last 5 years. He has flagged at Hilltop Speedway, Ona Speedway, and Columbus Speedway. He estimates his 18 years as a track official, he's officiated over 15,000 races. He gets the most excitement on handing drivers their first checkered flag and allowing kids to wave the green flag just to see the joy on their faces. He wants to express what a blessing it has been and how fortunate he has to have been having an incredible wife, Allison, and sons, Devin and Nate, who have allowed him to do what he loves to do for so many years. He also wants to thank his mentor and assistants over the years, Chuck Barrett, Keith Decker, Bernie Booth, Mike Swaney, Jason Neely, and Jonathan Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and privilege for me to induct my friend and the best damn flagman since my grandpa, Hall of Famer, Terry Coletti.
2005 would be his first full season in the sports stock class, and he would finish in the top 10 in points. After a long off season rebuilding his car from the ground up with the help of his dad and fellow racer Bill Admiral, he was ready for 2006 season opener. On April 8, 2006 was one he will never forget. As he took the lead in the feature, he had his sights set on getting that first career feature win. He had to drive a near perfect race as he had 3 former track champions all over him. Defending champ Pete Thomas was working on the outside, while Kevin McClintock and Ron Day were all over his back bumper. But as the checkered flag fell, it was Hot Rod picking up his first career feature win. He was going to finish in the top 10 points in the 06 and 07 season. Chris was making a couple starts in the 08 season before ending his driving career, but his legacy of short track racing was just getting started. In 08, he got an invitation from his brother Steve Pringle to come out to 250 Speedway, where he would earn the nickname the Echo on the League, as he would become the announcer for 250 Speedway. He would wear many hats at that track over the next 8 seasons, as he would be the PR and do anything else he could help to make that racetrack grow. While working at 250, he'd get a call from Midvale Speedway Hall of Famer Adam Mackey in 2011 to come on board in Midvale to help do some co-announcing. Chris would be stationed over in the pit area, interviewing drivers before and after the races. In 2015, with his purchase of Adam Mackey, Chris would take over as full-time race announcer at Midvale Speedway. Along with announcing on Saturday nights, he would also handle social media, public relations, and be a sales representative for the Speedway. He worked behind the scenes, something most people don't see, but is one that has left an impact on the growth of the track. 2015 was a good year for Chris, as he also joined the team of WTZ and Big T Sports, broadcasting high school sports events, where he still works today. All this wouldn't have been possible without the support of his wife Gina, his daughters Brittany and Haley, along with his parents George and Pam Kale. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the Hall of Fame the captain, Chris Hot Rod Taylor. We'd like to get all first way in here. Over here we have Clyde Gardner. We got Janet Parker. Back here we have Dave Peterson somewhere. Tom Farmer Smith here. Duffy Stafford here. Eddie Carroll's here. Larry
of Garrett,